Welcome to Cloud Rest Retreat. I'm using this today as an impromptu location to test out all of the Luminalia presents that go bang and some that don't even go bang. Some light up and other things. We're going to start with the wonderfully skinned Luminalia present F55 Alpine Sunset painted LMG. So the F55 is a quintessential weapon. You can see the ammunition on the side. And in its configuration as it was issued in Luminalia as a free present, you can see that it has its ammo count on the left side that you can vaguely see even when you're zoomed in and when you're not. It's a nice touch. You'll see that other ones today also have that capability. Usually the LMGs tend to have an ammo count, as do most weapons in the game, but not all. So I'm testing out holding breath and not holding breath, firing in bursts, seeing how different they are, and if you're trying to see if this weapon is for you, this might be a fun little test. Now, as to its looks of this free weapon, when you inspect it, you will find a wonderfully interesting combination of colors. It has a lot of color, it looks really great, and this is one of those pieces of kit that is going to be pretty dang fun to deck the halls with. Now, on to the next weapon, the Demeco Ultraviolet LMG. This one this year caused quite a kerfuffle because the Demeco used to be considered rare. And you can see that it's, once again, ammo count is nice and prominent on this one, even better than the other one. And the Demeco tends to be considered a top-tier, rare LMG that people would hunt for. And now every single citizen that grabs it can use it. So in its configuration as it's issued, you can see it also has iron sights, and you can add modifications to all these weapons, but I chose not to because I wanted you to see what you're getting and exactly what you're getting. And you can take UEC credits and purchase up some upgrades for them. But just this is how it comes when you pick it out of your inventory. As a reminder, you need to go to the Luminalia page and open all 12 of the days to get your presents. I really would prefer they didn't do it that way because I don't like the idea of people possibly missing it, but that's the case. So be sure to get in there. The link will be below in the pinned comment and in the description. Be sure to do that. This is the Scalpel sniper rifle, and this is the Permafrost skin/paint for it. You can notice with this 8x zoom optic, it has the ability to change 0 with the page up and down buttons. If you ever forget that, you'll see it on the right side. It's in its configuration, default, it fires 2 rounds each time it shoots. And it helpfully has some nice extra ballistic coefficient information. So there's little dots that you can use to help track moving targets and also gauge distances. So below those lines below, you would not actually aim directly at a target if it's farther away. You would use the lines below the target, and then also you can change your 0 on the fly. So if you have targets at different distances, you can change your shots. So that's the Scalpel Permafrost. It shoots 8. It has an 8-round magazines, and it shoots 2 shots each time in its default fire mode. It's a nice piece of equipment, and it looks really, really good. This was like, besides the knife, this was the other thing on the day 12 that was really the capstone. Now, this was a surprise. The Luminalia light. It is basically a throw light like the other light sticks in the game, but this thing changes colors. So it flashes between 2 different colors, and it's a free light stick. It is not a consumable in the sense that you can't keep reusing it. You can leave it activated. More on that in a minute. But you can use it to do what I think is pretty interesting. The green and the red combo colors are really, truly unique. And if you were trying to signal where you were at, like if your party beacon was not functioning correctly or was in the incorrect place, you can actually set this thing off, and even if it's blocked by something, you can still use it as an indication of where you're at. So if somebody's flying above and you're trying to meet them at the edge of a POI on the ground, this might help you get noticed, for better or worse. So not just your friends can see this thing, but it is a nice little touch. You can see how bright the ship is and how, like, it's not as obvious. I think because of the strobing light effect of the two different colors, it really, really, really does nice at night. Um, it has like some custom capping to it that looks really neat, and it's got that color scheme. You can throw it down, and you can also toss it like a grenade or anything else. So um, I can't stress enough how much I like this light. Even in a conditions where there's multiple light sources around, it is still noticeable, and you can make no mistake where the heck this thing is. I think this is going to be a very handy piece of kit for many players to keep on them. And as a reminder, if you're wearing chest armor, you can carry this around on your chest, just like other light sticks, and then you can grab and throw it. Or you can even have it strobing on your chest as you're walking around. I could even see players doing like little raves or something. So as you can see, you can throw it. So you don't have to have this beacon giving away your position directly where you're at. It can be further away, and that's how it looks from a distance. So maybe I'm making too much out of this thing, but I really like the Luminalia light stick from day 12, 11. So that is the Luminalia light stick. There is one problem, as I promised to mention. I didn't seem to find a way to turn it off. Looking back, I probably could have put it into the inventory of the ship and then back again. Probably would have reset it, but I just put it back in the rack storage, and that was it. So this is the Sizi knife. So this is a Banu knife. So this is carrying the tradition of knives for Luminalia. This was the other part of the day 12, and it was a pleasant surprise that day 12 was two different gifts, much like the other days that had paints, for example. But this was the first time I saw this, where we got two very different presents, where we had the Scalpel sniper rifle and then also the Sizi knife. So it's a knife, but it is a nice looking one, and I do like the very natural style of it and the carvings. It's very ornate. It is a good looking piece of equipment. So it is what it is. In addition, so you saw a preview of this in one of my previous videos. If you watched the Cutter Rambler videos, you'll see that there is a cookie jar. So as I put away the knife, you will see that there's a Luminalia Cookie Jar. You cannot currently open it to get the cookies, unfortunately, but it looks nice. It sets the tone for the holidays, and very interestingly, on the lid, it has a little message, both in Banu and in human in UEE speak. It says Luminalia Happy Celebration. So it's a very Banu-esque, where they keep things simple when they need to translate things over to another race's speech. So we also got two sweaters. So this is the Piconalia Sweater, and I think this one actually looks pretty good. So this is based on that first light set from last year's Luminalia, where there's that firelight with a beacon of radiant lights around it. And this one's, of course, featuring Pico. The rest of the outfit is not part of that. I just picked some stuff that I thought would look pretty good with it. So that's my Pathfinder set, boots and pants. And I thought it looked good with it. So that's the Pica Luminalia sweater. I think it actually looks pretty good. Now, there's a second sweater that's a little more controversial. So this is a pirate sweater. And it's saying no hard feelings, and it's noting the nine tails and all that stuff. And it's a vaporware outfit. Vaporware is a company that did a couple other pirate outfits for subscriber gear. This is the same deal. Just the sweater is new, and this is stuff I picked to go with it. This is another set of subscriber outfits that I thought would look good with it. I think it's okay. I was actually wearing that while I was doing the weapons testings that you just saw. So another nice set of things we got was Icebreak skin and Deck the Hall skin. This is the Icebreak paint, I guess you could call it, to be fair. And this paint was given to us for the Cutter, the Freelancer, the Prospector, and the Vulture. We got all four, as well as all four of those for Deck the Halls paints. I think this high contrast white and blue finish, with the blue being metallic, is very nice, and you'll probably recognize this from the Scalpel sniper rifle that was in the day 12 for Permafrost paint, it's called. But they called it Ice Break on this, and it looks great. I like how it turned out on the windows. I like how it turned out on the high contrast on the thrusters. And this is now the Deck the Halls paint. This is the same deal. You have a little bit of a contrast on the thrusters. You have a little bit of a different finish on the front, and it's almost like the tritone kind of comes out a lot more because they're subdued colors. And this Deck the Halls paint, I would argue, is not a bad little free military style paint job. This is actually quite nice. I could see this blending in on an outpost and people actually using this quite often. It's not perfectly military colors, but it's good enough. It's not as obvious as the Icebreak colors. So there is one other item I didn't get a chance to use, and I'm not sure if it's in the game yet or if it's just my mistake and I wasn't able to find it in my inventory, despite looking a lot. So I apologize, but here's a picture of it, and that's the Luminalia mug. So this thing has the celebration style information from the top of the cookie jar, as I understand it. Forgive me, Jill, if I misunderstood the symbols that are on the picture, but it is Luminalia celebration type information on the jar with the same kind of styles and colors at the top of the cookie jar. And it is another mug. For those who enjoy that type of stuff, it's a nice freebie. If you missed my early part of the video, remember to go to the Luminalia page. It is on the pinned comment. It's also in the description. Be sure to grab your 12 days of presents. If you have an alt, be sure they grab their 12 days of presents. If you have org mates and friends who rarely log in, remind them they don't have to actually go in the game. They just have to go to that link website and open all 12 of the windows. Remind them that it's at the bottom of the page. So we've had people that have pointed out that they can't see the 12 days of presents when they're on the regular site instead of the phone browser. And why can't the numbers work? Unfortunately, there's a picture of the 12 windows halfway down the page. It just tell them to scroll down all the way to the bottom, and they'll be good to go. And the bigger windows of the 1 through 12 is what they click. Be sure to click all 12. If you're not sure, click them anyway. So you guarantee you get the presents. It doesn't yell at you or anything. It just says, hey, you already have it. It's no big deal. There's also a referral promo going on right now that's actually quite a stack of items. Instead of a ship or a hover bike or something like that, the referral process right now, it's the CCC Aves kit, which is like bounty hunter staff style weaponry, armor. And then the FS9 Stoneface LMG comes in that kit, the Sawtooth Bloodstone combat knife, the Pyro RYT Bloodline multi-tool, the Truehold tractor beam attachment for the multi-tool, which is nice to have out of the pocket, and a Gemini Pathfinder Edition pistol. Quite a little collection of items. And a beacon undersuit that's in red, crimson specifically, to go along with all that stuff. And then a Grey Cat Quicksilver armor backpack, a few mining attachments, and I think that in general, the entire set of multi-tool items are on there as well, and a Caterpillar Deck the Hull paint. So quite a weird mixed bag of items. I think this is an interesting take on the referral process, changing it up. All the recent referrals were ships or hover bikes or something like that. This is a nice set of equipment that might be good for people that are not pilots, but people that are looking forward to having what's called LTI tokens may feel that this is not as valuable as having those items, particularly without a method to reset your items, like going to a kiosk and being able to get back this subscriber and freebie gear. Kind of rubs some people the wrong way. For PTU users like me, this is a wonderful set of equipment because all these freebies, the 12 days of Luminalia and the referral stuff, all just go into a big grab bag of items that I can throw on, and every single PTU build, I have a guaranteed many sets of armor, weapons, etc. And I don't sweat it if I die 5 or 6 times, and that avoids me having to go to stores and buying, stacks and stacks of items to be getting ready. It takes 20, 30 minutes away from my playtime every when I used to do that. And I suggest to you that take using these freebies in that way when you're on PTUs or tech previews or pyro previews. Really enjoy these, especially if you're only going to play maybe once a night or once every 2 nights. You're really going to get a lot of value out of these because you won't sweat it. So don't take it personally if you lose the equipment. They are working on having a way to replace the armors and weapons and such. Being able to go to a kiosk, you may have to pay money or something, but you can get it back. And um, that's the way it really should be. I agree. But at the moment, at least for PTU use and the other things, and the 50 other different iterations that aren't live, it's quite useful if you're worried about losing it. Embrace it in those places. Thank you for sticking around to my long-term subscribers. This kind of video is one of those I kind of do as a service, as well as kind of showing you what's going on out there. Right now, the live servers are pretty. One day they're up, one day they're running a little sluggish, but they're still up. And I guess that's the headline: is that even on a busy time like this, they're still up. Happy Luminalia. For those who celebrate it, Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas. For those who celebrate other holidays, I hope this holiday season embraces you and infuses you with warm thoughts and warm times. Spend it with the community. Spend it with to you, your family, friends, to your org mates. I hope you have that time. I hope you are able to enjoy this time. And yeah, we're continuing the march to 2024. I'm excited. I'm excited about uh, everything to do with this community, and I feel that 2024 is an exciting time, especially going into the beginning of production for outpost type player outpost items. I can't wait to start seeing the early discussions coming out of CIG about that process and starting to see how that shapes up. It's a long-term thing, and yeah, I think the 12 months from CitizenCon mark for a lot of things is going to keep people excited going into this, more so than previous years. To be fair, I'm always an optimist, so I'm putting my bias on the table there. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Once again, happy Luminalia, happy everything else. Have a great one.